and welcome to Think Watercolour. Today is a quick demonstration based on this photo that I took recently in Cheshire in England, and the sun had just come through, bursting through these autumn leaves and creating a nice contrast, putting the trees and branches into stark silhouette against the bright autumn colours. So without further ado, let's get started. I've already sketched the image out onto some Saunders Waterford 300 gram white rough paper, and I'm just blocking in the sky with cerulean blue. I've put some masking fluid on in some areas just so that I can keep the paper white where the leaves will be crossing the front of the trees. For the first initial wash, I'm starting with some lemon yellow. I'll add some cadmium yellow to darken some of the areas too, and a touch of pyrrole orange to indicate where the darker autumn leaves are. This is some sap green as well, just to indicate where the greener leaves are. This wash will dry much lighter. It's just an indication, just blocking in the different colour areas. This is just a quick demonstration. It's just an exercise in really blocking in colours and painting wet in wet eventually, but I'll let this first initial wash dry before I continue. The worst thing you can do is paint wet into damp. You'll end up with cauliflowers and runbacks. Now that the initial wash is dried, I'm just putting in the silhouetted trees. This is a pretty dark mix of ultramarine blue and raw sienna. I'm not going to paint all the branches. I'm just putting in the main tree, so that once that's dry I can remove the masking fluid. The thing with images like this is not to slavishly copy the reference photograph. It's just an exercise in using different colour mixes to create this feel of autumn. Okay, I've let the trees dry and remove the masking fluid. Now I'm starting to add the darker colours. This is a mixture of lemon yellow and cadmium yellow. Quite a thick mix so that I retain the colour. It doesn't get too washy and bleached out when it dries. Now I'm adding some Pyrrole orange to the mix for the darker autumn leaves. Again, painting wet into wet while the lemon yellow and cadmium yellow mix is still wet. Let the colours run together. With scenes like this, it's pointless trying to paint every single leaf. It's just a question of suggesting areas of colour, and it'll all come together once I start adding the branches of the trees and bushes. As you can see, as I add the orange to the yellow wash, it starts to blend and disperse and it's slightly weaker. I don't want to keep a totally bright orange all the way through, but in certain areas it'll be strong. I have to apologise here, I forgot to turn the camera on when I was painting the greener trees, but just for information purposes, it's basically sap green and hooker's green mixtures in various strengths. I've just let the wash of all the leaves dry, and I'm now putting in the branches of the trees and bushes with a rigger. Putting in these branches will bring the painting together and create this contrast between the darkest dark and the lightest lights. As I said before, this is just a very quick demonstration and an exercise in just blending colours together to create a pleasing image. As I said before, what attracts me about this reference photograph is the silhouette of the trees against the bright colours. As any artist will tell you, the hardest part of doing details like this is knowing when to stop. It's easy to overdo it. The best suggestion I could make is squint at your reference photograph and just try and pick out the key elements of the branches and not try and paint all the fine spindly branches that you see at the top of trees. Otherwise the painting will just become overworked. And always remember, at the end of the day, it's just a piece of paper and some coloured water. If you're not happy with the final result, you can always start again. and we're done. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something from watching this very quick demonstration. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell for future videos, and if you liked what you've seen, please give it a like. It always helps with YouTube, and thanks again for watching.